Hello everyone, and welcome to another beautiful day of NGS action. Now today we are going to be going over to Division C between Bad Rats and Heavy Group Therapy. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the standings, and I think that on its own will show you why this is an incredibly exciting game. Now, Bad Rats 20 points, Heavy Group Therapy 15 points. These are two massive heavyweights from Division C. It's going to be an absolutely banger match, and I'm really excited to see how this game is going to go, just because, I mean, this is the opportunity for Heavy Group Therapy to catch up, and this is also an opportunity for Bad Rats to extend their lead, try and get ahead. And now, we've already finished the map picks and bans. So what we've had, the coin toss was won by Bad Rats, and they decided to go for first pick. So the maps were Brax's Holdout and Sky Temple, banned by Heavy Group Therapy. Garden of Terror and Cursed Hollow, banned by Bad Rats. And the map that they've chosen to have game number 1, boom, Dragon Shire. Pretty standard one, but a pretty fun one, just because this is another one of those maps where having control over in the mid lane, having control, or not mid lane, but like on the middle of the map vertically is super important. And because of that, it does end up being just a little bit snowbally. Now, we did just do the ready check, so we should be heading into game soon. But just as a small PSA, if you see that the picks are, or if something's going a bit off on my stream, please let me know. I am multi-streaming right now to Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. This is my first time doing so, but everything should be fine. But if you see any hiccups, that's why. But with that out of the way, we are heading into our first draft of the game. And with that, I'm also throwing out the prediction out there, though obviously you've already seen that 30 seconds ago. But Dragon Shire, pretty big map. Globals are definitely going to be very valuable here. Having strong teamfight also going to be extremely valuable here. And Brightwing is going to be the first ban coming out of the side of Bad Rats. And again, this is a really strong healer, and it's one of those healers that's, well, really good at cross-map plays. The phase shift enables it to heal kind of anyone, anytime, anywhere, as long as it's not off cooldown. I would suspect stuff like the Dahaka to be contested as well, Falstad, really anything that has a global. It's just a lot harder to play with it, but it will be the Stukov getting banned away by Heavy Group Therapy. Big second ban as well, and immediately Joanna coming out from Bad Rats. They don't want to see any of that. But some pretty safe, pretty standard bans coming out of Bad Rats. Nothing too specific, just overall strong picks getting removed off the table. And for Heavy Group Therapy, Stukov is definitely one of those healers that sometimes is just incredibly powerful, but sometimes also is a targeted ban. In the right hands, that Stukov can be absolutely oppressive, whether it's just because of the healer alone or the entire team playing around it. But they will ban away the Mei from Heavy Group Therapy, and that definitely seems a bit more targeted to me. But right after that ban, Bad Rats trying to draft pretty quickly, going to lock in the Sylvanas. They will have the black arrows. They will have the stronger push. So if they're able to get the Dragonites, it would definitely be pretty difficult for the side of Heavy Group Therapy to start playing into it. But with that, Nilo going to lock in the Anduin. And I'm wondering if they're going to pair something with the combo immediately. But no, for now they're just going to take Chromie. Now, Anduin and Chromie obviously don't really combo together. But Chromie's able to just deal so much DPS from the backline. And depending on the composition, sometimes having the dome is actually good from an Anduin, but we'll see. Based on the rest of the draft, most games it isn't, but there are those small opportunities. As Rhaegar gets locked in for Neum and Garrosh locked in for Ding Dong. Now that definitely signals that they want to play a little bit aggressively. Garrosh needs to just kind of walk into the enemy, throw someone back. Could try to fish a little bit with a Groundbreaker, but much easier to do it the other way around, where you just kind of throw out the Wrecking Ball first, chuck someone into the backline, and that's just the end of the play. It will be a bit more difficult as Anduin will have the Leap of Faith, and depending on the target, could definitely help save them. As Deathwing going to be the third ban coming out from Heavy Group Therapy. Now, one final ban is going to be coming out, and I'm wondering which role they're going to try and shut out a little bit. And as they say that, they do ban away the tank. It's going to be the Anubrak banned by Bad Rats. Now, I'm wondering what it is about the Anubrak that they don't want here. It is a pretty decent tank right now. I believe it is currently rated S tier on Icy Veins. But it is one of the squishier tanks. But I was talking about the global presence, and the fall stat for Exian definitely going to help with that. Going to be able to move around the map very quickly, and ETC also locked in for Teal. In theory, he could also have the global presence with the stage dive, but more likely than not, it will be the mosh pit coming out from ETC, but we're just going to have to see once that level 10 does hit. And now 2 more picks. They do still need an offlaner, and most likely another DPS, depending on the strategy that Bad Rats do want to employ. And now that Ahaka will be locked in, that'll be their global answer, and the Hanzo just to help with that extra DPS, and potentially extra engage. If they're able to get the Dragon Arrow, if they're doing that as their heroic, we'll be able to deal a lot. But Samuro gonna get locked in for Mobi-1. And that's gonna be a pretty solid pick. I think there's not too much they can do to really catch out the Samuro. If they're able to land an Isolation or Wailing Arrow, then Samuro can be beaten. But it's going to be so hard for them to catch on. Really just depends how much value can Mobi-1 get from this hero. Well, that being said, the draft is done. The teams are ready to go, so let's all join them in game number 1. Well, hello. With that, we are in-game, kind of, just waiting for the loading screen to finish off. And then we're going to be on the Dragonshire between Bad Rats and Heavy Group Therapy. And both these two teams are pretty high up in the standings. Both these two teams want to start fighting for that number 1 position. Now, it won't necessarily mean much going into the playoffs, but having that number 1 seed always feels good. Winning the regular season, even if it doesn't end up helping too much, in terms of having an easier path, I mean, always going to feel great. But now, pretty different starts coming out of both these two teams. Bad Rats sending in 4 members to the top side. And when you have a Sylvanas, this type of play does come out pretty commonly. With the Black Arrows, you're able to just turn off one of these cannon towers and immediately go to town on it. And what's interesting is Vinx is immediately going to the bot side, though. So this leads me to believe it's not that play. Because typically you'll have the offlaner go top, and that's exactly what's happening. This could just be an answer to dealing with Mobi-1 Samuro, just making it harder for Mobi-1 to actually do anything. But now they have spotted out Jamster. They do see the Black Arrows coming through. And now the top cannon tower is going to go down. Mobi-1 is already here and immediately just going to get thrown over the wall. But now it is going to be 4v4 in the top side right now. French could be in a bad spot, but it's just going to jump over the wall. And the play can now truly begin. They do have 4 members topside, but now they're going to start roaming away. And it looks like their strategy was to have Vinx clear upwards. Now they're trying to keep everyone else from matching, as Vinx going to run through the brush and go up top to collect the last little minions. Mobi-1 trying to get in the way, but the Hake cannot be dismounted since they cannot mount to begin with. But interestingly enough, it does put Heavy Group Therapy in a weird spot, as they do have the power slide. The stasis is coming out. Face melt's already been used, so they're going to be able to slow a little bit. But now they do have the drag. Teal's tanking up, though. So Exian will be okay. And I should point out, it is the auto attack build coming out of the fall stat, going to be able to deal a lot more damage as the game goes on. It's very much a scaling build. And interestingly enough, it is the Stormbow build coming out of French as well. Not going to be seeing the scatter arrow. But because of their map movements, because of this unorthodox start, they're going to be able to steal away the siege camp right at the start of the game. Now, the rest of the side of Heavy Group Therapy, they are playing to try and finish off their Bruiser camp. And while that is the stronger camp, they had to provide so many resources to that side to be able to secure it. Now, Neum trying to grab the Dragon Knight, but Mobi-1 already going to be there. But Ding Dong with the Groundbreaker will be able to prevent any kind of extra play there. And so we are going to reset. Now the Shrines are going to start going back. Bird trying to take it in the bot side, but won't be able to, as French and Neum have already come back. They will clear out the time trap and will retake this bottom shrine. And this is where the true gameplay begins in Dragon Charge. Trying to take both these shrines while also having control of the Dragon Knight is incredibly difficult. It takes a lot of time and a lot of positive push in order to get that happening. This is now the face mount used by Teal just to keep Ding Dong away. Preventing Ding Dong from doing any of those aggressive plays. But they do have one of the siege minions here. They're going to be able to push down onto these structures as well. But this push is happening over the top side as well. Now Teal gonna get thrown back, but not gonna be able to do as much. And Jamster getting jumped upon by Exian and actually gonna survive for now and will be able to regen back up. But that means the Bruiser camp is going to get stolen. And that's a really big camp to steal. The first Bruiser camp just went down, but took the entire wall with it. And now it's just going to be Vinx up here trying to clear away the last 3 Bruiser camps. And with that extra pressure, heavy group therapy, they're going to be able to take the Dragon Knight. Now, it's only 3 minutes in, so it's not the most powerful Dragon Knight. But it is still a Dragon Knight that will be able to clear away an extra wall, will be able to add pressure too. Because they still have the Bruiser camp pushing into the top side. They still have 3 members on the top side. Now, Teal just going to walk away, going to be doing a little bit of damage over to the mid lane. But this is where the real hurt is going to be coming through. Heavy group therapy just really putting on a clinic to start this. The macro play did look good from Bad Rats to start. But heavy group therapy just going to be able to retake this map. And now Teal has respawned. Vinx going to get caught. And with that face mode into the chastise, they're going to be able to get first blood in favor of heavy group therapy. Now Ding Dong will push Teal back. But unfortunately, it is the ETC, not the target they wanted. And once again, Ding Dong just going to get repeatedly canceled on that Groundbreaker with the face melt. Makes it so difficult to try and play forward. But they will clear away the bot side, and there's a full level lead now in favor of heavy group therapy. And with this extra level, it's not going to matter too much, but for the moment, it will, just because of the slowing sands. And after that, until level 10, they're not going to have any major advantage. But it's still going to be pretty interesting watching this, seeing how the slowing sands is going to be able to interact. They did decide not to go the temporal loop. They want to have more of that teamfight presence. And now Bad Rats are going to be taking the Bruiser camp over on this bot side. Now this is going to help them with the deficit, but now Exian jumping onto Vinx will have the auto attacks coming through. A couple more. Vinx, do they have the passive? Can they go into stasis? And actually will just be able to walk away with the move speed. Exian definitely in a pretty good spot to try and get that kill, as now Ding Dong going to get hit into the back face melt as well. And with the slowing sands, Ding Dong will be taking quite a bit of damage just from the structures here. That top cannon tower dealing quite a bit of damage. But obviously, it is Garrosh. Gets tankier the lower they get, so it's not the worst to be low HP as a Garrosh. It is pretty, I guess, soft capped. It is better to be full HP, but it isn't too bad being low. And now the siege camp also gonna get taken by Bad Rats, but level 10 has finally arrived for heavy group therapy, and the rest of their heroic abilities are out. Ding Dong could be positioning a bit too far up. Teal gonna knock Ding Dong back. Has the unstoppable, but that will be another kill going over to heavy group therapy. They had the placement in the right spots. Teal able to get that engage. And then the body blocks working super well. Exian does have the gust. They have the light bomb as well onto Teal, but it's not going to land onto anyone. Little bit of miscommunication, but they don't lose too much for it. They lose a couple of cooldowns, and that's really it. And none of them are really long cooldowns either. It's really just light bomb. It's 45 seconds remaining. By the time the next fight will come through, it'll be back up. And they were still able to finish off the bot side wall on the side of heavy group therapy. Now Bad Rats could be looking for a play, could be looking to try and get back in. Exian will be able to just run it out, will be fine. Already at 14 stacks for frequent flyer, by the way. This is going to be a very powerful fall stat. And the later we get into the game, the more that's going to be true. As now Vinx getting jumped upon. Moby one with the Blade Storm, and Exian with the autos. But the move speed from the brushes, and that's why it's so hard to catch a Dahaka. Even when they're low, they're just going to be able to run it out and get back to safety. Teal going to get slowed. Hit with the Groundbreaker and Wrecking Ball as well. And Leap of Faith going to come through from Nilo. to keep them safe. Now, Neum and Jamster will be able to retake this bot side shrine. Bird going to try clearing it out a bit. And actually, Ding Dong's trying to play a little bit aggressively here as well. Now, they do have to be a little bit concerned because the Bruiser camps are back up. And last time, Heavy Group Therapy did try to steal this. And when I say tried, they did manage to successfully steal this as well. But now Vinx actually slowly but surely winning in trades against Mobi1. And that's a pretty good sign, especially when you're the Dahaka player. Anytime you're able to prevent extra pressure coming out of Samuro, that means good things are happening. But now Ding Dong trying to play aggressively, trying to prevent them from taking the Dragon Knight. And Teal still trying to lock it in, but topside is going to go back to Vinx. Now Ancestor healing for Ding Dong will come out in time, and now the Brush Locker is coming through. Groundbreaker not going to land, but Vinx looking for Mobi1, able to land the drag, and that will be the first kill for Bad Rats as they're able to take down one of the hardest heroes in the game to lock down. That's an absolutely perfect first blood, but now they're looking towards Bird. Bird starting to get a bit low. Haunting Wave and the Dragon Arrow with the drag. But with the Leap of Faith going to be enough. Bird survives at just 20 HP, but they're still pushing forward. They're still looking towards this fort. Now Teal is here. They have the Chastise, and they have the Dance Mosh Pit coming through, and they don't have anything to cancel, so the Rhaegar is going to go down. Now the Wailing Arrow has come through from Jamster, and unfortunately not a lot of mana left onto Jamster, and I'm guessing that's why they weren't able to use it right away. They just did not have the mana bar they needed. So there will be one kill back in favor of Heavy Group Therapy, and they also get the level 13 talents during that play. But now the siege camps are getting taken by both sides. Gonna get cleared away by Heavy Group Therapy and gonna get matched by Bad Rats. And now the Bad Rats do need to be careful over on this bot side. Teal looking for a play and will get thrown back. Ding Dong is there as well. Light Bomb, but with the Unstoppable, they will be okay. Ding Dong is still not going to get locked down. Mobi1 looking for the play over in the back lane as well. Jamster could be in a bad spot, but with the Haunting Wave, will be able to just jump out. But that's still going to be the Shrine going the way of Heavy Group Therapy. Now level 13 is up for Bad Rats. They're still looking towards Teal, and with the Gust, with the Leap of Faith, Teal will be able to back out. But Bad Rats will be able to retake this Shrine. They will be able to keep the Dragon Knight from going over once again. But now Vinx looking towards Teal. Teal could be in a pretty bad spot. They have the drag, but it is the main tank with the Power Slide, with the Chastise as well. But it's only going to land on Vinx in the back line. Ding Dong is going to get healed. Ancestral healing comes out in time. And they're fighting back and forth, but no one's going down yet. Time Trap will go on to French. But with no follow-up, they're not going to be able to keep... they're not going to be able to keep this play going anymore. But again, looking at the stacks, it's already 9 stacks for Enhanced Agility. Gonna be able to get the final one in favor of the Dahaka, in favor of Vinx. And then 3 shots of Stormbolt have already hit. And once they're able to hit every single one, it's gonna increase the range. But the main thing that really matters is the damage. And they've already gotten that by hitting 3. And then 10 stacks with the Warbreaker as well. And having that lower cooldown is going to be pretty important later on in the game as well. It's going to open up a lot more aggressive plays. And lower cooldown is always just good if you want to make plays and if you want to deal a little bit of damage too. As Teal gonna get poked back. And Bird actually takes a decent bit of damage. Vinx almost lands it, but the stasis comes out from Bird just in time. Exian forced to jump away with a barrel roll. And Dragon's Breath not going to come out too far. But Teal sees Vinx, but there's no wave right now. The minions on their own would cancel it as Mobi1 going to retake the top side. And once again, neither side can take this Dragon Knight. And I have to give credit to Bad Rats. It is extremely hard playing this map when you're already down a structure, but they've been able to hold on, and they've been able to slowly but surely push the game into later and later tiers. And once the late game does come out, it's going to be slightly easier to push back. But as I say that, Mobi1 going to finally be able to lock in the Dragon Knight. But there is going to be the Bruisers pushing over in the bot lane. Now, this Dragon Knight should be able to take at least 1/4. It's an incredibly powerful hero and actually going to knock back Jamster all the way to the back. But they're DPSing pretty hard onto this Amuro, onto this Dragon Knight. They have been able to protect mid lane for now as Jamster, once again, just going to get cleared away. But the rest of Heavy Group Therapy, they're pushing it together as a team in the bot side, and they will be able to clear away the bot fort. And that is one of the most important forts to grab. the other one being the top one. So now they have the two most important early game buildings down. Got all 5 members now going to be pushing towards the mid lane, and Bird able to deal so much damage from range. And with the time trap, with the slowing stance, Moby1 gonna be finally taken out of that Dragon Knight, but they should still be able to just walk it in. Moby1 just gonna use the Blade Storm to finish it off. And that will be all 3 forts getting taken down by Heavy Group Therapy. And now this is where it really gets difficult for Bad Rats. They need to get some kind of team fight in their favor where they can start trading back some of these structures. Because right now they're just going to get slowly but surely pushed in on every side. Level 16 is up for both teams. Ding Dong gonna get hit by the chastise, but is still alive. Now Vix in the backline. They do have the stun, and oh my god, they already finished off the Garrosh. So now Vix in the middle of the backline trying to deal some damage, but with Stasis at 10 HP is going to be able to heal right back up a Blade Storm. And the Gust going to prevent the team fight from continuing it. Heavy Group Therapy had a fantastic start, but Bad Rats almost able to bring it back. Now Vix, oh, huge snipe from French onto the Falstad. Vix was trying to look for maybe one other drag, but with both teams getting mounted, they're not going to be able to follow. But that's still a 1-for-1, and their Garrosh is going to be up earlier. They could try and push somewhere, but instead it does seem like they just want to group up together, take this bruiser camp, and play from there. Now, it's still going to be 25 seconds for the Falstad's back, though the Falstad will have flight. So if they are pushing aggressively, they will be able to respond. Now, Bruiser Camp is going to get collected by Bad Rats, and the other Bruiser Camp is going to get collected by Heavy Group Therapy. But level 18 is there. Piercing Sands is now online for Bird. Going to be able to deal quite a bit more damage, and most importantly, it's going to make the positioning a lot easier. Now, they are clearing the bot side on the side of Bad Rats. Could try and push forward. But all 5 members are up from Heavy Group Therapy, and none of them are on the map. So it is a little bit scary trying to walk forward. They do see Teal. And with the time trap, not going to be able to land. Moby1 is playing off through the backside, but will get seen by Ding Dong, who will just spin to win, and then they'll be able to spot them out. But either way, right now, they do have control over this bot side. Heavy Group Therapy going to collect this shrine, but Vinx on the top side going to be able to collect the top shrine. And how much more can they get here? I think Bad Rats, they do need to slowly but surely try and look to start a fight. I think that the longer it takes them to get a team fight going, the worse a position they're going to end up being. Let's see, Moby1 has a huge push in the mid lane and is just trying to get in Vinx's way to prevent the rotation. Now, the drag will land. But again, Moby1's able to just jump away as this wave is just pushing in. Vinx will be able to grab it, as will the rest of the squad of Bad Rats. They are grouping together strength and safety in numbers. But that is going to be both shrines now going back in favor of Heavy Group Therapy. With Bad Rats defending mid lane, they may not be able to get the Dragon Knight right away. Now, Vinx is going to be the one they send to deal with the bot lane. Gonna get hit a little bit by the Sandblast. And now Moby1 is the target they're looking for. Will get viewed, but not going to be able to be thrown back by Ding Dong. Now top shrine is going to get traded back to Bad Rats. And we are just starting to play musical shrines here. Both sides just trying to walk around, trying to clear all the waves. But now Vinx has a pretty good aggressive position. Could look towards Teal. And with the boombox, going to be prevented from following up onto the play. And I do like the macro play that's coming out of Bad Rats right now, because they know they cannot give up another Dragon Knight. So what they're doing is they're mostly playing around mid lane, grabbing the shrine on another lane, then coming back to mid lane. So at some point, there will be both shrines in favor of Heavy Group Therapy, but now they're level 20. Now it's going to be harder to prevent them from locking it in, as Exion looking for it. The Groundbreaker will not land, but the Power Shot will. The Stormbow will. But Exion, in the end, will still be able to lock it in. Now the Light Bomb as well, but will be stopped by the Unstoppable coming out from Ding Dong. No more aggressive plays, but Ding Dong is quite low now. The chain healing from Nia definitely going to be helping out a lot, as they are now just trying to DPS onto this Dragon Knight, and they're doing a pretty good job so far with the help of the wall. Half HP already. One of the cannon towers is still up. And that is one of the benefits of having that Sylvanas. Sylvanas is able to deal so much damage. And actually, this Falstad might get canceled in a bit early. Exit in a bad spot. But with the Leap of Faith, with the Wind Wall, we'll be able to back away. Now, they only got the wall in the mid lane. And honestly, for Bad Rats, that's not too bad. They should be able to hit level 20 soon. As Teal waiting in the side, looking for the play. Gonna come through with the face buff. But instead, they're aiming onto Teal. But they've already taken down the Sylvanas. And now they have the encore coming through. They have one. They have two. Vink's going to follow. It's still in stasis for now, but not going to be in a good spot upon re-entry. We'll have the drag onto the main tank, but Teal not even needed with the power slide. Now Ding Dong, final survivor, going to get face mounted into the wall. Going to get body blocked, and the final light bomb to come in. And it's a 5-0 in favor of Heavy Group Therapy. And they already have a wave. They're already at the mid lane keep. This should be the game coming in from them. 45 stacks on Frequent Flyer, by the way. Exian is incredibly powerful right now, but not going to be able to scale further simply because they're going to win the game here. And it was a good fight for Bad Rats, but Heavy Group Therapy, especially on this map, once they took the lead, they were able to hold on to it. They were able to force Bad Rats to take some bad fights. And with that, they will be our winners for game number 1. Yeah, definitely a really close game, but I mean, Heavy Group Therapy, they're just able to deal a lot more damage. They were just able to get that zone control first, and having that top lane fort taken out so early made the macro play so much harder for Bad Rats. I really liked how they started, but Heavy Group Therapy, I really liked how they played the middle, and I really liked how they were able to end the game. Now with that, we're going to go to a short break, but when we come back, we'll have game number 2. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. Let us get ready for game number 2, as I'm actually too far to the left. That's never happened before. Too far to my left anyway. You're right. But with that, we're getting set up for game number 2 between Bad Rats and Heavy Group Therapy. Now, game number 2 is going to be on Volskaya Foundry. A pretty fun map, and one that's a little bit less snowbally, first of all. And second of all, one that's not quite as objective focused. A lot more little skirmishes should be happening. A lot more gameplay going to be just around keeping the waves pushed in. And there's more options, I'd say, overall on Volskaya Foundry, how they would like to play. But now, can Bad Rats bring it back? As Heavy Group Therapy does have the 1-0 lead so far. But now May is going to be the first ban coming out of Heavy Group Therapy. This time, they're still going to match with that. And I believe Bad Rats last time they banned away... they banned away Johanna, and I think they banned away a healer. I forget which healer, though. I don't know why. I haven't had a good memory recently. As it will be the Johanna ban once again coming out of Bad Rats. And last time Heavy Group Therapy banned away the Stukov. Which, I mean, it makes sense. It's a pretty tilt pick to play into. Not a lot of fun to play into it. But in the right hands, like I said, able to provide so much power. So kind of a double reason to remove it, especially if you don't play it yourself. And they will be able to clear away the Stukov. Now Bad Rats with one final ban remaining. And they're going to ban the Chromie. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Bird dealt so much damage that last game. Now the number 1 DPS was in that offlane. And actually it does seem like the offlane is going to be different this time around. It will be Uga playing in for Heavy Group Therapy. And first pick, Vala, going to come in from X Yin. Now, Vala, very solid DPS. Pretty versatile in terms of build as well. I mean, all 3 builds are viable to some extent. Multi-shot, I rarely see it, but I have seen a couple games where multi-shot is just better. But with that being said, Anduin going to get locked in for Neum. And this time, it's going to be Muradin for Ding Dong. So they will have the Light Bomb combo on the side of Bad Rats. And with the Dwarf Toss, should be a little bit easier to get that going. Now, Heavy Group Therapy, they could try and take their tank again. I think ATC should be fine into Muradin anyway. The face meld will be able to just block off the Dwarf Toss. But the Oriole going to get locked in immediately for Nilo. And Anubrak for Teal. Now, last time I believe Anubrak was the ban for the second phase coming out of Bad Rats. So this time they're just going to lock it in immediately. They're going to be like, it's fine. We can pick something else later. But with the Anubrak getting locked in, they are scared of the Mephisto coming out of Heavy Group Therapy. And they themselves can't really play the Mephisto either because it's very difficult into an Anubrak. They're just going to clear that out of the game themselves. And I'm wondering what Heavy Group Therapy do want to play around. It is another tall map, so something like Dahaka is still quite powerful. I don't think they need to worry about a Samuro. I don't know if Bad Rats play it. And they're just going to ban the Deathwing once again instead. And a proper Deathwing can also kind of take control of a map. It's an incredibly powerful DPS. If you have the right angles, that Molten Flame can really deal damage and just absolutely shred both frontline and backline alike. But now, next 2 picks going to be coming in for Bad Rats. They kind of have to show their hand here. I would like to see the offlaner and at least 1 DPS. But they're going to show the Zarya and Cassia together. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. Zarya going to be able to have a little bit of an interesting team composition this time. Now, I don't see too much Zarya, but obviously with this shielding, able to provide a lot of extra support and also a decent bit of damage. Now, if they do have the... I'm trying to remember what the ability is called. I know what she is. Like, but I have no idea what it's actually called, what the heroic is for Zarya. But it will really add that power once they do get into those level 10s and into those team fights. And I said they don't need to worry about Samuro, but I was wrong. Vink's going to lock that in 10th pick, as it will be Leoric or Uga on the Yorick and Bird on Hanzo. I think I'm having a hard time choosing which composition to go for. I think both of these are pretty unique. And especially with the Oriole. Oriole's really powerful, but If Neum knows how to play the Anwin into it, they know how to do the Light Bomb together with it. And most importantly, if they know how to use the Zarya into it, they could definitely come out on top. But we'll have to see as we head into game number 2. And we are back. We are ready for our next game. And we're going to have quite a bit of fun with it, if I do say so myself. Now, we are going to be on Volskaya Foundry this time between Bad Rats and Heavy Group Therapy. And Heavy Group Therapy could be looking towards this domination today. They're in a pretty good spot to achieve that. They've been performing pretty well in that first game. But Bad Rats definitely not going to want to give it back to them. So we're just going to have to see who's able to outplay the other. Now it is going to be the Stormbolt build once again coming out of the Hanzo, this time on Bird. And it will be the Lightning Fury build coming out of the Cassia. Now yesterday we did see, or not yesterday, the night before, or sorry. We did see an auto attack Cassia coming through. So it will be pretty interesting to see how both of these sides are going to be able to play. Now Vink's just going to split up, just try to do a little bit of poke damage. And it's just doing what Sumuro does best, which is get in everyone's way and really annoy everyone. But Yin finally took the count, and it is going to be Krita the Hunter. So they will be going that auto attack build. And I think that makes a lot of sense, especially into a Muradin. There isn't too much lockdown that Xian needs to be worried about. Not too much lockdown, now not too much dive. And now they're jumping on a Bird. Bird just going to jump over, but Teal also really low. Almost gets hit by the grenade from French, but that's not going to be enough to get that first blood. And now in the middle, in the bot side, there is going to be a little bit of trading as Vinks just jumping back and forth as Uga able to heal quite a bit. Ding Dong gotta get in the way. They're looking towards Bird, and they're jumping on a Bird immediately. They have the blind, they have the Dwarf Toss, and one final auto coming in from Jamster. And this time, first blood goes the way of Bad Rats. They're gonna be able to get a much more solid start compared to that game number 1. But now Heavy Group Therapy, they're already onto their turret as Bad Rats are just clearing their waves right now, making sure to catch their soak. So this could give them an opportunity to play more aggressively into the fortification, but it doesn't seem like Heavy Group Therapy want to do that. What they want to do is immediately go and collect this biotic emitter. Now French is going to be here trying to get in the way, but with no support, shouldn't be able to keep this from going over. Ding Dong gonna get hit with a detainment strike, but again, they will be fine. Neither side really wants to play aggressively there, but Bad Rats get a pretty solid camp. That support camp gives a lot of XP. And it's also incredibly powerful during team fights if they're able to use it properly. But now French could be getting jumped upon. Teal's already here on the side, but the Bro Charge not going to land. The blind lands onto 3, and Jamster is starting to come out and starting to deal damage. Now, they don't have any extra blinds on the side of Bad Rats, by the way, but they do have a lot of extra lockdown, a lot of shields, and they will be able to just keep chucking out those Lightning Furies. As Jamster going to get the blind onto Teal once again. And is in a spot where they could just start poking out. And the Lightning Furies are hitting so many targets, already at 19 stacks. But at the same time, this Vala at 46. Krita the Hunter is really good into compositions where the enemy has some kind of clone. Because all the stacks, all the quests still count fully, even if it's not the real target. But regardless, both sides just going to back away and start working on their siege camps. A Heavy Group Therapy will be able to take theirs first, as French trying to scout forward. Could be in a bit of a dangerous spot, but Ding Dong with a Stormbolt able to prevent Teal from playing too aggressively to start. But now the Burrow Strike is going to be coming in. Ding Dong in a bad spot, but with the Dwarf Toss able to just jump away. The Impale only able to buy a little bit of extra time. And now the Chastise does land onto Teal, but they do have the healing coming out from Nilo. As Teal slowly but surely actually getting poked down pretty hard. And French gonna help clear away this siege camp. And now both sides are level 6. Very slight advantage towards Heavy Group Therapy as both sides do look towards level 7. But now the fight is starting. Bird into bad spot, forced to jump over. But Ding Dong trying to fall with the Stormbolt, not going to be able to land. And that will be the end of that trade there. But Heavy Group Therapy, both Bird and Xian, almost getting caught out there. But same could be said about Neum. But they're able to just reset. They're able to just back away. Level 7 now hit by both teams. So both sides do have their talents. The teal hiding in the brush could look for a flank play. Doesn't really have the range, but will go forward anyway. And is just going to use it to buy a little bit of time, get a little bit of poke. But now the push is coming through, and Bad Rats, with the Lightning Fury, they actually can poke onto these buildings pretty effectively. And the grenades coming out from French will help them out quite a bit. But now the point is unlocked, and already Bad Rats are on it. But now they're looking towards the fortification camp. They see Teal. They're pushing Teal back. And now they're trying to hit onto the turret. And this is going to be a pretty fun fight. It is 4v5 in favor of Bad Rats. The Heavy Group Therapy, they're not even going to try contesting it. They're just going to have to give it up. And that's going to be a good camp steal by Bad Rats. But now their top lane is pretty pushed in because of that bird finally joining in with the rest of the team, as French forced to go top to clear that away. As Ding Dong is trying to stand on the point, trying to keep it in their favor. Vinx also just being annoying on that Samuro Teal. Looking to play forward. They do have the chastise. Vinx starting to get low. But now they're on to Jamster, and Jamster is in a pretty bad spot. Healing Beacon gonna be coming in, and Heavy Group Therapy get the first kill. But they're looking for more. Uga looking towards Naim. Naim gets hit with the Impale. And the extra hungering arrow coming out of Exian will be able to get the final shot. Now French to tame and strike into the wall, and one more vault. And Exian able to get a third kill. They're in a really good spot now. One big team fight. That's all they really need. Now they're going to be able to trade back onto that fortification camp. They're going to be able to get their own turret. And now they're going to start playing towards the A site. And they are only on 18%. So Bad Rats will have the opportunity for a retake. But they just hit level 10. And that's going to make things a lot harder for Bad Rats to play forward. Now Teal is walking up forward. But again, it is just that Anubarak. Not going to be the easiest target to go on right now. Especially since a lot of their damage does require a little bit of that magic. And with the spell armor that Teal gets from the Hidden Carapace, it should be pretty safe. And now French does roam up to the top side to get that pushed in, but the point is starting to get to 90%. They do need to start fighting for it. Ding Dong is on the point. The entire roster's here. Both sides high level 10. Huga looking for the play in the back line. Ding Dong going to get knocked backwards, and Leap of Faith is going to be coming through. Sorry, and that's the light bomb. And now they have the gravity well. They're looking, but the Dragon Strike dealing so much damage over onto the back line. Ding Dong is in a bad spot, will get finished off by the Hungering Arrow, and that's a 3-for-0. That Entombed Dragon Strike just absolutely shredded their backline, and now the Protector will spawn, and Heavy Group Therapy, they're going to be able to take it for themselves, and they're going to be able to take it out for a spin. And now it is just the one player into it. Teal gonna get into the gunner seat now as well. And now they're looking towards this mid lane fort immediately, and they're dealing so much damage to it. This will definitely go down, and I think they're even going to have the health and the time to maybe try and push something else. Now, Jamster just trying to get a little bit of poke down, trying to push back as hard as possible onto this Protector. But it's still at just below half health as it gets to the top side, and it's going to start DPSing into the wall. Now, Ding Dong looking for the backline, looking for a bird. Stormbolt not going to land. But that will be the last of the pressure that this Protector will be able to accomplish. But taking down an entire fort and being able to get a little bit of damage onto another wall, that's pretty big for them. They should be pretty happy with how that went. But now level 13 still isn't there for Bad Rats, but they have over 1 level lead against Bad Rats. Heavy Group Therapy, they're just in a really solid spot now. And once again, it's the same as last game. I want to see Bad Rats try and take a fight. And it's going to be difficult for them, but I think they kind of have to. As now the Biotic Emitter is up. Level 13 is up for Heavy Group Therapy, so they're not going to be able to fight now. But maybe between level 13 and level 16, Bad Rats could look for a play. They could look for some kind of aggressive posture. They're not getting too much value out of this Samuro split push right now either. So I think Teamfight is their best bet to get back into the game. Now, they are going to be taking their siege camp. Niam and Jams are just going to be able to do it together. And looking at stacks, we already have 133 stacks on Creed of the Hunter. So this Vala is starting to get quite strong. And I don't believe this Vala has any deaths yet. So the later on they're able to get without dying the more powerful this Vault is going to end up being. And she already deals so much damage. But now Bad Rats, they're playing really far forward and just immediately getting started over onto this mid lane wall. Now, I don't think they're going to be able to get too much else, but they will be able to finish out the wall. Level 13 is now up for them. And Lightning Fury dealing quite a bit of damage, and they do get the jump on a Teal, forced to jump away. And the Valkyrie not going to find anyone. But it is interesting. It is the Valkyrie, actually. It's not going to be the Lightning Ball. They're going to be looking to fish for that extra play later on. It's going to help quite a bit with the lockdown. Going to help with the CC chain. As now the Blade Storm is going to get thrown out by Vinx just to clear this wave and potentially push towards this bot side. But Bad Rats, they are going to go back mid. The Siege Camp is going to get cleared by Heavy Group Therapy. So now they're going to have the passive push in the top side. Stormbolt not going to land on Exian. But Teal, with the Impale, going to be able to land it onto Jamster, but no other follow-up. It was a max range poke, so it is a little bit harder, but now they're going to go in. Teal already used the Burrow charge and not going to be able to find anything else. Ogo is going to be able to find Jamster, and Jamster's in a really bad spot, but Leap of Faith is going to come through. Dragon Strike already used as well, and this time not quite as effective. Blade Storm on the back line. But Exion will be able to just trade it back. Jamster dives in forward and is just going to start getting autoed by Exion, and now the Haymaker just trying to separate them, and the Light Bomb able to land on 3, but the Biotic Emitter is buying so much health. Now the Graviton Surge is there, but do they have the follow-up with the healing, with the turrets? 2 turrets and the Biotic Emitter. Heavy Group Therapy, they're quite strong there. And Ding Dong trying to get chased. Teal just needs one more bit of lockdown, but with the Dwarf Toss, will be able to jump back to safety. And another 2 for nothing from the side of Heavy Group Therapy, and they're pushing in really well right now. They have the camp in the top side. They're gonna try taking on to the Siege Camp. Jamster could be in a bad spot, is getting burst down a little bit, but is able to back away. Now Detamus Rek buying a little bit of time, but now Teal on the wrong side of the map will get hit by the Stormbolt and might be able to go down, and with the final stun, they will be able to finally trade something back. Now, can they get anything else? The Detainment Strike definitely going to make it harder, but Vinx is there looking for Nilo, and Nilo is quite low as well. And if Nilo's not able to mount, the Stormbolt will land, and Nilo will get finished off as well. Can they find even more? Ding Dong was searching, but not going to be able to find it. And with that, the Biotic Emitter is available, so Bad Rats will be able to at least get that back in their hands. However, Uga still pushing in the bot side. Vinx is on the way to match it, but that'll still be a little bit of that permanent damage done over to the wall. Now Vinx able to take Uga down to half HP, kind of indirectly, just from the fort damage. But now the control point has been started by Bad Rats. I don't know how long they'll be able to hold it, as French is trying to soak up level 16 over in the mid lane, and level 16 will finally go over to them. So now they're both on even talents. It's slightly less than a level lead, as they were able to bring it back. But now Heavy Group Therapy, they're looking to invade onto this fortification camp, and Vinx definitely cannot do anything about it. We'll just have to give it up. So will be 2 turrets going the way of Heavy Group Therapy. And now French is just hiding. Same with Jamster. They see Teal. Just going to try and get a bit of extra stacks with the Stormbolt, with the Lightning Fury. Actually getting quite a bit now. They do have the chain. Niem in a bad spot. Light Bomb going to get used. Lands on it too. And now they have the Biotic Emitter. They could still look to fight. Ding Dong is on the backline. Same with Vinx. Bird starting to get quite low. Graviton Surge, and Nilo is caught into it. Crystal Age is just going to come through. Bro Charge lands on the 3. Rain of Vengeance is top as well. And now Nilo is still getting chased down, but the healings are coming through. And now the Dragon Strike over top. Vinx is in a bad spot. Ding Dong's in a bad spot. But Jamster is playing aggressively. Detainment Strike knocked into the wall, but Leap of Faith will be able to bring them back to safety. And all of that just for a 1-0 in favor of Heavy Group Therapy. And once again, the turrets just helping win that fight. They were able to deal pretty well in terms of getting onto the back line. Now Uga could be in a bad spot. Jamster looking for the play and will get pretty low. Couple more autos will be the play. Ding Dong gonna get that. But now Teal gets the pullback onto Niem. Niem still stunned. Bird looking for the backline as well. Niem will get healed up, but everything else, the little scarabs dealing so much damage to the backline. Now they don't have a healer, but Teal starting to get low as well, and will get finished off with a Haymaker. So that will be another 1-for-1 after the play was already over. But again, Bad Rats, they're still trading up in terms of overall trade on the map. And when you're behind, you take those. You even take even trades, but they're trading up, and that's really what matters now. Exion looking to play up. Wiz just going to be able to vault away to safety as the gate is destroyed. And the Lightning Furies absolutely shreds through walls. They will be able to finish that off very quickly. And the Protector also at 92%. And I think with Liam still being 20 seconds away, it will be free. And now how much can they get with their objective? They have the Protector already walking into the top side. The wall is already going to get cleared. Ding Dong's just trying to buy a bit of time. And now they're looking towards it. And they're able to take down the Oriole. And now that's the power of the Protector. It is so powerful. They're looking towards this top lane fort as well. And if they're able to finish it off, they'll be in a very good spot. And it does seem like they will be able to. Niam's here for the heals as well. And where are they going to go? It does look like they want to go over to that mid lane next. And because they took the inside track, there's no one here from Heavy Group Therapy to really defend into this. And Niam's healing up Ding Dong. Teal trying to buy a little bit of time for it. But that's going to be a second fort going down. And now Bad Rats actually have the structural advantage. And they still have 40 seconds. They still have a little bit of health. They could look towards this bot side with a Protector. Now Uga trying to stay alive, but getting dealt a decent bit of damage. And one more stun with a Haymaker probably could have gotten the kill. But they're not chasing for the kill. They're chasing to get even more structures. Now it's 10% HP, 20 seconds. They could start looking towards this bot lane fort. It is going to get quite low. And now the Dragon Strike just to buy space. And the Burrow Charge not going to land on anyone else. Incredibly valuable push coming in from Bad Rats. And they were definitely able to close this gap pretty substantially. They're still down half a level, but they have the push advantage. And now they're trying to fight before level 20 does come out. They're looking towards Teal. And with the Burrow Charge, Teal will be able to get away. But they also will be able to steal that fortification camp. They're going to be able to take that turret, as level 20 is finally there for Heavy Group Therapy. Now, this is a bit of a moment where Heavy Group Therapy could want to try and fight. But the issue is they may not have an opportunity. But Ding Dong is in a pretty bad spot. Is kind of caught out and will be stuck inside of the cocoon. But the Entomb is not going to be able to land. Ding Dong will get stunned, will get chained. And one more hit will throw down the turret just to not hand it over. But that will be a pick-off in favor of Heavy Group Therapy. And now they have the inside track to the bot lane. They should be able to even out this bot lane fort. So they actually do have the advantage here, but they will have 2 forts apiece. Siege Camp gonna get finished off by Vinx. And now level 20 on both sides. Bad Rats able to defend long enough to get into this late game, able to get these max talents. And now they could really start playing forward. Now Exian, 232 stacks, 78 over onto Jamster. So the stacks are stacking. The quests are questing. And in 26 seconds, I want to see Bad Rats try to fight too. Because now their bot lane is going to get pushed in. Their top lane is shoving in passively. And they do have Vinx shoving out the mid lane. But their keep is under attack. They may need help for this. They are dealing a decent bit of damage over to the back line. As French just trying to help zone them away. But Niam and Jams are not going to be able to deal enough damage to zone them away. Now the Valkyrie not going to be able to land into the backline. But now their tank is back up. They have all 5 members here. But Heavy Group Therapy, they've already gone in the keep. They don't want to keep pushing forward. They got the structure and they're getting out. And I think that is definitely the smart way to play that. There's nothing for them to fight for there. If they lose a fight, they'll be in a bad spot. And granted, if they win, they could have ended the game. But I don't think you need to take a fight that's on the side of Bad Rats. Because anything short of a complete victory there would not get them any major gains. And now Bad Rat's going to walk up and take their biotic emitter. As Vinx going to be scouting up a little bit with the clones. And now Niam is going to grab that biotic emitter. Give it to the healer. Going to be able to heal twice as hard. And control point C is unlocked. And it will be towards this bot lane. Now, no one on the side of Heavy Group Therapy is on this bot corner. As Vinx is just poking down this fort little bit by little bit. And it looks like Heavy Group Therapy, they don't care about the objective. They don't care about the fort. Or their bottom fort, I should say. They care only about this top fort. They want to even out the push up here. And so they're just going to send all 5 of their members to take down this top lane fort. Now, they will definitely be able to get that. But how much more can they get? They are winning in the push right now. And if this ends up being a base race, Heavy Group Therapy, they have a major advantage. Now, the bot fort is gone. They're hearthing back, but the wall's already finished off. And they're still pushing. They're still trying to play forward. Bad Rats could need to look for a fight. Vinx does have the flank Angle onto the backside. Now Ding Dong is going to go forward. They do have the stun on a one. Vig's just going to be in the backline trying to create chaos. And French looking for an angle for the Graviton Surge, but it's not there yet. Ding Dong able to land one stun, but it's onto Uga, not the target they want. And with that, Heavy Group Therapy once again just able to win out on the macro play, and they just back out as soon as they no longer need to stay. And they have 2 keeps now, and the Siege Camp is going to be spawning in 5 seconds. That could be the next place to fight, but Ding Dong looking to play forward, able to get the stun onto Nilo, and Nilo is in a bad spot, going to get hit with the Haymaker as the Blade Storm on the backline. Both sides getting hit, but the Entomb lands on a 2. It's took down Neum. French is going to go down as well. Dragon Strike over top, and Ding Dong will get finished off as well, and it's just Jamster and Vinx left alive. 4 for 2 so far. Now they're definitely going to look to end the game. This is an opportunity for Heavy Group Therapy. But they do have 2 strong heroes, 2 strong DPSs available on the side of Bad Rats. Now Valkyrie isn't going to be up for 30 seconds. Not going to be there during this push, but Vinx just gets absolutely shredded. And I don't know if Jamster's able to do this on their own. They don't have their heroics. They don't have their core. And it's going to be a domination in favor of Heavy Group Therapy. And once again, Bad Rats did get the early game in their favor, but Heavy Group Therapy just goes so far ahead in the mid game. And the Bad Rats did manage to bring it back. They managed to get 1 good team fight. It turned into an objective, and that turned into 2 full forts. But after that, Heavy Group Therapy just pulling them around the map, and they will be able to earn their domination. They will be able to earn their 4 points, and it's gonna make Division C quite a bit more competitive at the top. Now, I'm gonna try and get a little bit of an interview. Give me one moment as I search for a player. Let me just also get that set up as I do. Discord's so weird with the way it takes channels. But, I mean, that was a pretty close series, minus just a couple plays. Going the way of Heavy Group Therapy so hard that it's just... They were able to snowball it very cleanly. I think that's the best way to describe what happened in that series. Oh, yeah, I should give away this predictions. Well, once again, it was 100% to Bad Rats, so once again, I'm going to cancel
Hola.
it. Hello, hello.
Hola, hola. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo está?
I do not speak a word of Spanish, I'll be completely honest.
Neither do I.
Okay, but I am joined here by Bird and Exian. So congratulations on your 2-0. How do you feel?
Thank you. I feel sigh of relief. We were anticipating that game all week and probably longer than that. It was a good game. We had fun.
Lo fue.
Now, it is important to have a lot of fun. Now, especially in that game 1, I saw that you picked the Samuro yourselves. And what was the logic behind Samuro? Did you get what you wanted with it?
I didn't honestly have eyes on top lane. So I don't know exactly how it went. It seemed like it went pretty well. Moby's been practicing his Samuro, and it's been paying off. It's very safe, when it comes to ganking top lane. I think we have a lot of confidence with him on Sam up there, so it seemed to fit the playstyle that we were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, considering you got the victory, it definitely works out for you.
Yeah.
Now, tell me more about that game over in that game number 2 on that Volsky Foundry. Because there was a moment where Bad Rats, they managed to get 1 strong team fight and were able to take down so many structures afterwards. Now, were there any worries that happened, or was that kind of an okay fight to lose?
I mean, we're never excited to lose a fight, but, it was like pretty reasonable that they're going to take a couple forts off the back of that. It was a close fight. It was a bit chaotic. I think we made a couple micro mistakes that just added up to it, turning into their favor. But it gave us a second to just like take a breath and reset. And as they're pushing the forts, it just gives us a second to strategize about how we're going to recover and go from there.
Well, you definitely were able to. You had a lot of really good macro movements in that second game after that loss, and I think you were just kind of forcing them to run around, try and chase you. They always seem to be one step ahead.
Yeah, there's felt like we were kind of doing the tango on the map there. Some good macro calls by Teal there.
Yeah, especially in that game one, called it the musical chairs of the
Yeah.
Dragon Shrines.
Both games felt like that, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. How'd you feel, Yoon? I know you were more in the rotating 3-man on D-Shire.
En,
I
en
was
el
more
juego
stuck
1,
bot lane.
en el juego 1 yo creo que Samuro hizo un buen trabajo. Nos dejó el espacio necesario para poder rotar y matar al resto, ¿no? Por ejemplo, en el juego número 2 estábamos, bueno, nosotros éramos los que queríamos luchar más que todo por la cantidad de stack que teníamos, tanto de bala y como la de Hanzo. Pero, bueno, todo esto tomó mucha práctica porque al inicio éramos bien pésimos en lo que es macro. Pero qué bueno que todos estos esfuerzos han dado fruto.
Heck yeah.
All right.
He
Thank
does
you.
speak English, but he's
Oh,
from Peru, and he's very proud to rep, and
Yeah.
we're very happy that he is.
I mean, Exton played
Ian's been
really.
trying to push for more representation for the Spanish community.
Well, did a great job in that last game. 52k damage on the Vala, 0 deaths. Going the Gambit and not dying once has got to feel absolutely amazing. And it definitely provides so much damage once it gets into that late game.
Oh yeah, Ian's a pretty sick Vala player. We also knew that they played Vala, so we were happy to put him there, but also remove that from their pool.
Yeah. But now, with that domination, you're actually technically still in third place, but now you're at 19 points, only 1 point behind Bad Rats and Zul'jin Distillery. And compared to Bad Rats, you have one less match played. So if you're able to win even one map, you will be able to get quite a bit ahead there. So,
Right, yeah.
So how does that feel being at the top of the standings? Are you trying to win the regular series season, or are you caring more about?
We're trying to win it all. Oh yeah. There's some great competition in this league. We've been keeping an eye on Bad Rats and teams in this div. It's we're never going into any match thinking we're definitely going to win this. You have to give respect to the opponent and go from there. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, we're gunning for it.
All right, that's a great attitude to have. And now, my usual final question. Are there any shout-outs you'd like to give? Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans out there?
Yeah, I'd like to let Yoon go first, if you don't mind, Yoon. You want to get your shout-out?
What is a shout out?
Just if you want to thank anybody or acknowledge anybody, it's your chance to.
Oh, I should thank my teammates, Tshirt, especially. He was the only one who took me in his team. I'm really happy being here, and I'll do my best, whatever I can do
Oh
to
my
win
God,
and make him proud.
you're the best, man. That's great to hear as a captain. Glad to have you here, Yoon. Just off the back of what Yoon said, yeah, like all my teammates, a huge shout out to you, all of the casters, everybody that volunteers for NGS, on all the committees. It takes a lot to keep this machine running. And we're happy you do because we have a great time. It's a lot of fun. I know there's been some people supporting us and watching the game on Twitch. So yeah, thanks for doing your part. We really appreciate you. Shout out to Bad Rats as well. Really great team. We scrimmed them as well, and they're a hell of a team. It was a good series.
Subscribe to Bird Therapy.
Oh, yeah. Also, my mom. I always got to fit in a shout out to my mom.
All right. Well, thank you
Yeah.
very much. And again, congratulations on your massive domination. And hope to see you later on this season.
Thanks, Toki. Really appreciate it.
And have a good night.
GG's. You too.
GG's. Take care, everyone.
All right. And with that, I have left the call. And I will be calling at the end of the stream for now. I will be back live in about 40-ish minutes. I do have another cast starting at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern, and whatever Mountain Time or Central Time is, because I always confuse the two. It's 8 or 9, one of those. Is it? Yes. But with that, I am going to go take a short break. And then when we come back, we're going to be going to Division B West. It's going to be a lot of fun there. And depending on that, how that goes, in theory, we could look for a third cast. There is one starting at 8. If it's a quicker series, would be doable, but obviously not guaranteed. But if it does happen, hopefully you'll stick around and enjoy watching that too. With that being said, I'm going to take a break and I'll be back in 40 minutes. Hope to see you there.